It was a homicide that shocked the nation and triggered heated debates, trepidation, killings, disappearances, revelation of sex tapes, cover-ups, arrests, confession, court trial, and prison sentence. I speak of the controversial death of Ambassador Peter King. In this video, I take a look at the life, career, nation contributions, and brutal death of Ambassador Peter King. Plus, a look at the court trial and sentence of his then 25-year-old killer. And in conclusion, I take you on a visit to the resting place of the ambassador in the parish of Kingston, Jamaica. I am Nigel D. Salmon. Welcome to Jamaican Chapter. Sunday, March 20, 2000, Ambassador Peter King had allowed 25-year-old Sheldon in his home at 11A Waterloo Road in St. Andrew. Sheldon, referred to as a male prostitute by some in the gay circle, had come to the ambassador's home from about 6 p.m. Saturday, March 19, and for hours he was comfortable at the residence, eating, drinking, using the computer, and even hanging out in the bedroom. Sometime after 12 a.m. in the dark morning of Sunday, March 20, he emerged from the bedroom of the ambassador in a frantic haste with his hands and clothes stained with the ambassador's blood. He headed to the balcony from the bedroom, jumped to the ground, and made his escape to his mother's house in Hopewell District, Garden Town, St. Andrew. There, he burnt the bloody clothes. 4 days later, on Thursday, March 24, he headed off to Mango Valley in St. Mary, where his relatives live, to hide from the consequence of his crime. Back at 11A Waterloo Road in Kingston, the residence of Peter King was silent. Soon, his naked body was found lying in a pool of blood on the floor of the bedroom, partially covered by a sheet. The police was called and processing of the crime scene began. Post-mortem examination later revealed that Ambassador Peter King was chopped 4 times in the neck, stabbed 4 times in the chest, and he received 22 other stab wounds to the face, forearm, hand, elbow, and other areas of the body. As the news of the ambassador's murder spread, a group of curious and frightened individuals gathered outside the residential address. Investigation to find the killer had begun. Police investigations gathered any and everything they hoped could lead them to the identity of the killer. Among the potential evidence they gathered from the home of the ambassador were 460 videotapes. The videotapes revealed a side of the ambassador never before known to the general public. Some of the tapes show Ambassador Peter King in sexual activities with other men. Allegations are that some of the men seen in the tapes were journalists, police officers, well-known businessmen, politicians, and some ordinary young men, primarily from Kingston and St. Andrew. The discovery of the sex tapes brought fear in all of the reputable men who knew they were recorded on some of the tapes performing wild sexual acts at the premises of the ambassador. They knew that if the tapes were to be leaked, their social status, their job positions, marriages, and their reputations would collapse. But why did those honorable men have themselves recorded? It was in their belief that the home of the ambassador was a safe zone. But at the brutal murder of the ambassador, such safe zone was shattered. The sex tape did not contribute to the effort to identify the killer of Ambassador Peter King, but other potential evidence gathered at the crime scene gave the police a breakthrough. Police crime scene investigators had gathered from the crime scene an empty Guinness bottle from the bedroom and a blood-stained towel from the balcony. Fingerprints from the Guinness bottle later proved to be that of Sheldon Posey. By way of matching DNA, blood on the towel proved to be that of Sheldon. Sperm was also found on the same towel, and by DNA profile matching, proved to be from Ambassador Peter King. The ambassador's sperm on the towel was indication that he had sex with only one person with him that night. Sheldon. Sheldon hiding out for months in Mango Valley, St. Mary, since he had killed the ambassador. But the police investigation closed in on him. On Monday, March 5 of 2007, almost a year after he committed his crime, he was arrested and charged for the murder. So who is Sheldon Posey? Not very much is publicly known about him. He was not a famous or public figure prior to the tragic incident. Sheldon Posey was born either in 1979 or 1980. He started as a carpenter, later switching to do other jobs, primarily being a waiter. Some gay men in Kingston and St. Andrew say that Sheldon was an occasional gay prostitute. But Sheldon did not openly confirm this. At the time of his arrest, he described himself a father of a baby in St. Mary Parish. After his arrest, Sheldon Posey was never granted bail. He was first held in jail and later moved to the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center in Kingston. When arrested, he confessed to the killing and stated that he had acted in self-defense. He waited in jail from March 5, 2007 to January 19, 2009 when his court trial began in the Home Circuit Court in Kingston. His hope to get bail was crushed at every court appearance. With no eyewitness to the murder, the prosecution relied on circumstantial evidence to prove the case of murder against Sheldon. Prosecution was led by the then Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, Caroline Hay, and Crown Counsel Delia Finlay. The prosecution had a lot of incriminating evidence to throw at Sheldon. his fingerprint on the Guinness bottle, his blood on the towel left on the balcony of Peter King's residence, his confession to the police, witnesses who saw him at Peter King's residence on and even before Saturday, March 19, 2006. Representing Sheldon was defense attorney Berriston Bryan, also called Berry Bryan. Under the guidance of Mr. Bryan, Sheldon stuck to the story of self-defense. He stated that he went to the residence of Ambassador Peter King on the purposes of getting a job. He was allowed into the home by the ambassador and was invited to watch television and use a computer until he and the ambassador could talk. According to Sheldon, it was not until sometime after 10 p.m. that he was able to speak to the ambassador about getting assistance to find a job. By that time, after 10 p.m., he said he had gotten hungry and expressed this. He said the ambassador offered him something to eat and then offered him a bottle of Guinness. Sheldon said that he felt dizzy after drinking, and it was at that time that the ambassador dragged him to the bedroom and began rubbing down his face, chest, and shoulder. Ambassador King stripped naked, according to Sheldon Posey, and then attempted to take off Sheldon's clothes. It was then, Sheldon Posey said, he began fighting the ambassador. A struggle began, and to cut long story short, the 64-year-old ambassador was killed. He, Sheldon, jumped over the balcony next to the bedroom and made his escape. The court battle between the defense and prosecution continued in the Home Circuit Court in front Judge Marva McIntosh and a 12-member jury. On Monday, March 16, 2009, it all came down to the jury to decide on convicting or not convicting Sheldon. Judge McIntosh gave the jury 3 choices: find Posey guilty of murder, not guilty of murder, or guilty of manslaughter. The jury had to make a decision on these 3 choices. After a heated deliberation, the jury came to a decision. The jury found Sheldon guilty of manslaughter. So what is the difference between murder and manslaughter? Why did the jury decide to find Sheldon guilty of manslaughter but not murder? You see, murder is the act of killing someone after planning to do it. Yes, it's premeditated killing. Manslaughter, on the other hand, is killing someone without any prior plan or intention to do so. So in the minds of the jurors, Sheldon did not go to Ambassador Peter King's residence to kill him. He simply found himself in a frightening situation that caused him to commit the act. Being found guilty of manslaughter, the date for sentencing was set for April 1, 2009. On that date, Judge Marva McIntosh sentenced Sheldon to 15 years in prison at hard labor. Attorney Barriston Bryan, who represented Sheldon throughout the trial, was not pleased with the outcome of the court trial. Attorney Bryan had wanted the jury to find Sheldon not guilty. Since that did not obviously happen, he filed an application to the Court of Appeal with the hope to free his client. But Attorney Barriston Bryan would not live to see the appeal. On Friday, June 5 of 2009, less than 90 days after he filed for an appeal, the 72-year-old attorney was attacked, bludgeoned, and stabbed to death on a staircase inside his mansion in Stony Hill, St. Andrew. His partially decomposed body was found by a worker 3 days later. The death of Attorney Barriston Bryan was a big blow in Sheldon's case to the Court of Appeal. Sheldon would soon lose the will to fight his conviction. He abandoned the appeal in July of 2016, primarily due to the long waiting time the Court of Appeal took to hear his case. This marked the end of public and media attention on Sheldon. Sheldon would fade away from public attention while serving the rest of his sentence at Tower Street Adult Correctional Center. So who was Peter King? Peter Constantine Vernon King was born in St. Andrew on Saturday, May 23, 1942, to Father Conon R.O.C. King and Mother Lillian Evelyn King. He was educated at the Carteret College, Jamaica College, and University of the West Indies. At the start of the 1960s, he began his career as a teacher, teaching at Jamaica College from the year 1961 to 1962. His involvement in the public sector spanned years of working numerous posts for the government of Jamaica and making significant contributions. Looking at his long list of contributions, we can name some. He served as a clerk in the Ministry of Local Government, an executive assistant in the Ministry of Health, registry clerk, student officer, and commercial assistant at the Jamaica High Commission in London, personal assistant to different diplomats, including P.J. Patterson, Deputy High Commissioner for Missions in Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Grenada, and Guyana, Permanent Representative of Jamaica Agricultural Society, Vice President and Chair Trade Representative of JAMPRO, Chief Executive of the Jamaica National Export Corporation from 1976 to 1988, a chairman of the Free Zone from 1977 to 1988, Special Trade Representative for Jamaica to the U.S., Chairman of Caribbean Textile and Apparel Institute, Justice of the Peace, and so much more. Ambassador Peter King was the recipient of several awards and honors, including Order of Distinction in 1975. The untimely and tragic death of Peter King, Ambassador and Special Envoy of Jamaica, was a big loss. He died leaving one son, Julian King. The funeral for the ambassador was held on Wednesday, March 29, 2006. Ambassador Peter King, who had allowed in his home many diplomats, dignitaries, and persons of high reputation, and who had hosted significant events inside his home, such as the Graham Davis Jamaica series exhibition, had made a fatal mistake when he invited the commoner, Sheldon, inside his home. Wow, wow, wow. It's warm here in halfway tree, and I am standing at the place, the resting place of Peter King, here in halfway tree. And behind me is the St. Andrew Parish Church. This is where Peter King was laid to rest in the year 2006. And I am going to be going in to view his grave. The traffic is very noisy out here, so you know what? Let's just go inside and visit the grave of Ambassador Peter King. Wow, over here is really cool and relaxing. And as I'm going through the gate, I'm inside the property right now, and I'm heading towards the subject of this story. The graves over here are very old. Very old. Here I have an entrance to inside of the church. It would appear that there's no more space over here for another burial. But of course there is. In 2006, when the ambassador died. Like with any other church, I think the St. Andrew Parish Church only allows for members to be buried in the churchyard. And here on the property we have the resting place of Ambassador Peter King. If you are sure you notice that it's small, it's not a long monument, a long tomb, and that is because he was cremated. He was cremated, and his urn was placed inside of this. He's not the only one who's here. So we have other members of his family whose ash were buried here. And here we read, it says in loving, and as I say, he's not the only one buried here, so you will see a lot of names right here. And at the top it says, in loving memory of Reverend Canon Randolph Olenthios Constantine King, born June 13, 1905 to April 27, 1995. Beloved husband, father, and Anglican priest. Below Reverend Conan King, you'll find Mistress L. Evelyn King, Senior, 29 January 1904 to 9 February 2001. I believe this would be the wife of Reverend Conan King. And it says devoted wife and mother. Below her is His Excellency Ambassador Peter Constantine Vernon King, OD, which means Order of Distinction. And he is the subject of this story. I read that again. It says, I'm sure you're probably not seeing it good, but it says, His Excellency Ambassador Peter Constantine Vernon King, OD. Born 23 of May 1942, died the 20th of March 2006. And it goes on to say, much beloved husband, father, brother, trade negotiator, and outstanding diplomat. Yes, so this is where he is buried. And it continue on. We have other names here. Just one more name. Angela Evelyn Vernon King, OD. That's Angela Evelyn Vernon King, OD. 28 August 1938 to the 5 of February 2007. And it says wonderful mother, social scientist, and Assistant Secretary General, United Nations. Wow. So this is the monument that hosts the cremated remains of all these people, including Peter King, Ambassador Peter King, the subject of this story. And they're resting here, well, they're resting in ashes here on the grounds of St. Andrew Parish Church. And that's the story. That's the way I can tell his story here on Jamaican Chapter. Thanks for watching. See you again in another interesting video like this.